You have 1 minute to complete problem number 6. If you obtain an answer of A, please move on to the next question. If you're unsuccessful in achieving this answer, please continue to watch the instructional video that follows. When I explain this problem, I'm going to do the least amount of work because that's our goal when taking a standardized test, is to get as many problems right in the least amount of time. Remember that when we talk about parallel, we know that the two will have the same slope. So when I look over here, I'm not concerned with these numbers that don't contain an x, because the number stuck with the x, when it's in slope-intercept form, the number stuck with the x will be describing our slope. So when I take this 8x, which is positive, and I move it across the equal sign, it changes signs. That's a quick way of doing it. So I have 3y equals negative 8x. And how again do we get a negative 8x? Well, the long way would be to subtract 8x and subtract 8x. These two would cancel, and you'd have 3y equals 0, subtract 8x is 8x. Let's do it the quick way here again. So you have 7y, and now a positive 8x. When a positive 8x moves across the equal sign, it becomes a negative 8x. How is this going to help us find out what a has to be? Well, I'm going to set up two fractions and set these two ratios equal to one another. Okay, the next thing here is I'm going to isolate the y, or get y by itself. Opposite of multiplying is dividing, so I'm going to divide both sides by 3. In this case, I'm going to divide both sides by 7. Now, how is that going to help us? Notice that multiplying and dividing cancel out. Multiplying and dividing cancel out, just like adding and subtracting cancel. So I have y equals negative 8/3 x, and y equals negative a over 7x. What do we do with that? Okay, well, we're going to use substitution. So what I get to do is I get to take this fraction, negative 8/3, and it says if they're parallel, we need to know that the slopes have to be equal. So this number has to be the same as this number. This number has to equal this number. And now I'm going to use cross multiplying to do this. I know that negative 8 times 7, feel free to use a calculator, when you multiply is negative 56. And I know that 3 times negative a is negative 3a. Now when we isolate or solve for the a, I divide both sides by negative 3. They cancel. Opposite of multiplying and dividing cancels. In reality, they turn into a 1, but we say they cancel often. And now I look up above, two negatives make a positive. And if you plug this into your calculator and turn it back into fraction, you would end up with positive 56/3.